the UN Security Council is due to hold a meeting on its mission in Mali. It comes a day after UN peacekeepers from Chad were killed in the north of the country. Mali has become one of the most dangerous for the United Nations, even before France pulled out its troops earlier this year. For more on this story, we can bring in our international affairs commentator, Douglas Herbert. Doug, good afternoon. Mali has been in focus because of its strained relationship with France, but also because of the role UN peacekeepers play in the country.
Yeah, these peacekeepers, it's called the MINUSMA mission. They've been there since 2013, and really what they've been tasked to do is help to sort of provide a supporting role to Mali's transitional authorities as they try to shore up the government in the face of what is a continuing jihadist threat. The fact of the matter is the security situation has been going from bad to worse because, I mean, the broader story is obviously way back when in 2012, early 2013, a French-led military operation, you might remember, drove Islamic extremists from their power bastions in towns across northern Mali. They pushed them out, but what happened in the subsequent years is in the face of a very weak government, they all regrouped. The jihadists regrouped, various groups of them, and began launching attacks targeting not just villages and civilians, but also government sites. And the situation's been like that since then, but compounding everything and the backdrop against which this meeting is going to be taking place, in which the UN Secretary General will be reporting on the security situation in Mali, is as the relationship with France goes from bad to worse, because we had a military junta basically seize power back in 2020, in August of 2020. Relations with France have been absolutely abominable since then. And in fact, the junta there has been accusing France just outright of actually helping the jihadists and as opposed to helping the Mali government. So the deteriorating relationship, the continuing attacks, including the latest incidents with the peacekeepers who were killed in northern Mali in the Tessalit region near Kidal, all of this is part of a broader and continuing pattern, and it's expected that in his report the UN Secretary General will take a look at both that security situation, targeting both the jihadists, but also perhaps, and this is where it's going to be controversial, pointing out what he calls serious human rights violations on the part of the Mali's own security forces, their army.
Let's talk about the anti-French sentiment for a second, because it seems to have worsened as the presence of Russian mercenaries became present in Mali. It seems to be linked almost.
The Wagner Group has essentially replaced the French forces that pulled out in August last summer, pulled out because of these worsening relations. Basically felt like the Mali government was not just helping pull their own weight. They just basically were no longer cooperating at all with the French authorities, and that it was a losing cause for the French soldiers to stay. So the French mission pulled their soldiers to neighboring Niger, where they've remained ever since. So the Sahel region still has French soldiers on the ground. Basically, what you have the junta, which is leading Mali right now, which had promised to establish, restore civilian rule, set up a roadmap to elections. None of that seems to be happening. What you do have instead is a situation in which the foreign minister, who will be present at this UN Security Council meeting today, Abdoulaye Diop, he is expected to pointedly, he's going to seize the opportunity to pointedly do what he's already done, accuse France of sponsoring, arming, and also providing intelligence to the jihadist groups. Now, why France has obviously firmly denied this, saying, why on earth would we do that? We have absolutely no interest, never have, never will arm these jihadist groups. They're abominable. But the Mali government right now is very hostile to France. The relationship is at a nadir right now, and he's expected to not just bring this up to make a point of it. It is the Mali's foreign minister who had wanted to have this meeting 2 months ago. He called for a special UN Security Council meeting on Mali, which was never convened. No one actually sponsored it. The reason they're having this today, and the reason he's going to be there physically, is because it's the opportunity where the Secretary General will be issuing a security report. So not Mali's meeting, but an opportunity for Mali's government to finally get the attention and air its views before the full Security Council.
Well, we'll see how Paris reacts to that. Thank you very much for that, Douglas Herbert there. Next.